Hello, lovely writers, and welcome to another Writerly Wednesday. If you have known me for a little while, you will have heard me talk about the topic today, but it's worth repeating. Why? Because we inevitably get caught up in the day-to-day and we forget this really important fact, and that is my belief that there is no real writer's block. There is only chaos. And when I talk about chaos, I'm talking about something within the mind, the body, or spirit, which is emotional, relational. So if you find yourself sitting down to do your writing and something either drags you away or blocks you from writing, or in fact you find you're not even getting to the writing, rather than despair about the fact that you're not writing, I want you to stop and pause for a minute and think about what is going on before you even get to the desk. Is there something going on with your mindset? Are you having some really horrible arguments with your internal editor, which is a whole other topic, and you know, if you've been here for a while, that I love that one. So we will dive into it at some point. But are you arguing with your internal editor? Are you really having some doubts about your own skill level, your craft, the genre you're working on, any of those things? Is it mindset? Have you been sick? Actually, we oftentimes too, if you're a woman, we don't give ourselves enough credit for the ways that we put ourselves out physically and are really honoring everyone else around us, and we get sick, or maybe we've had surgery, or we've broken something, or maybe we're exhausted, or maybe we have a headache, and we still expect ourselves to show up and sit down and find the same level of writerly flow or creativity as always. It's really not the greatest expectation. Rather than beating yourself up, just having recognition. Things are a little bit different right now. How can I manage to get myself back to a place of stasis before I expect myself to get back to creativity? Or even just noticing it and then giving yourself a bit of grace before you sit up. And by the way, sorry for the dog. If you hear the barking dog, not mine. The third area is a little bit more challenging for people because, again, there is this concept that artists, because we're so creative, that we're really fed by the inspiration of trauma and drama. But the fact is that emotional and relational chaos in our lives, right, with our partners or our families, friends, with our work colleagues, all of these things can have an effect on our writing. Now, sometimes it is true that we can take that drama and trauma and use it as inspiration and bring it into our writing. But there are other times where we are still caught up in the storm of it emotionally, and that actually detracts from our ability to show up for our creation. So it's not a writer's block, but it is chaos that's keeping us from being able to show up fully. And that's okay. Sometimes we can use our creative pursuits as an escape from that drama. But if it's not working for your writing, sometimes it's better to try something else for a while. Coloring in. I love coloring in. Or dancing. Doing something with music. Try an art form that you're really not very good at. Try being a beginner for a little bit, just to stretch yourself. Walk away from your words for a bit if they're feeling full of strife. Give yourself a break and then go back. And you will find that it wasn't a block so much as the chaos needed to die down. And then you could go back and your writing will accept you with open arms. That's my hope for you. And that's my rather short tip for this Writerly Wednesday. I would love to hear from you though. Have you ever experienced something that felt like writer's block? And maybe you've been following me for a little while and you've tried one of these tricks. Have you ever noticed that instead of a writer's block, you were ignoring something, whether it was mind, body, and the physical, or soul, which I call emotional, relational, that was actually going on, that was keeping you from showing up fully for your writing at any particular time? Share some of your stories, because you know what? When you share, other writers feel empowered to not only connect like, oh my God, that was me too, or share their own stories, and then we all benefit. I cannot wait to see you next week for another Writerly Wednesday. Until then, I know you have a story to tell. It's time to tell it, especially if you are not feeling the chaos of being blocked by from your writerly work at the moment. So get to that page. But in the meantime, share with us, and I'll see you next week. Bye.